Well, hello. Today I'm doing a video review of the KEF LS50 Metas, and I'm going to compare it with my Alon Model 1s and the Focal Theva 1s. My preamplifier is a Parasound PDL 1000, that's up on the top there, and you can't see it, but the amplifier is a Parasound HCA 1000A. It puts out 125 watts at 8 ohms. I'm going to get to the point. I'm going to spare you the specs and just go straight into it. So, sound tests. The first song I played was Feeling Good by Michael Bublé, which is a great sound test because it has a lot of dynamic range in the beginning. It goes from really silent to really loud in a very short order. And the first thing I noticed was the lack of slams on the LS50s compared with the Alons. The Alons, they really excel in this area. I haven't heard too many speakers with more slam than this one. And so I'm not even sure if that's even a fair comparison, because when I compare the Focals with the Alons, even then, there's no comparison. The Alons just blow them out of the water in terms of kick and emotional engagement. But yeah, the LS50s, they actually held their own pretty good. They have more slam than the Thevas, which is good. I should say that I've had this speaker for the last week. I've been breaking it in, and when I first listened to the speaker, it didn't sound very good. It actually sounded, the mids were really veiled, and it just seemed like the drivers were kind of stiff. And over the past week, the speaker has really opened up, and it sounds a lot better now than when I first pulled it out of the box. But yeah, it's the LS50s remind me of the Magnepan SMGs. I just sold those speakers, unfortunately. But the imaging on the LS50s reminds me of the Magnepans, and it's just, the speaker is great at imaging. The trebles are very delicate and articulate. It hits all the notes. The Focal, they also they image quite well, but the clarity of the treble is a lot better on the LS50s compared to the Thevas. The next song I listened to was Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. And again, the first thing I noticed was the lack of slam on the LS50. Or maybe I shouldn't say lack of slam, how much slam the Model 1s had. They just really, really make you feel like you're in the room with the Beastie Boys. It feels like a live performance. The tweeter on the LS50s, in the beginning of the song, as that little flitting sound as it goes left to right to left, was kind of holistic, which was actually really nice, and I wasn't expecting that. But the tweeters on the Focals as well as the Alons also have a holistic sound field. And if you don't know what that means, it means basically the sound seems to emanate from beyond the speakers. So it actually felt like the sound was coming from like here, as opposed to the speaker. And that's one feature that I look for in speakers nowadays. The next track that I listened to is a Millie by Lil Wayne. The bass on the LS50s was really good, really solid. I was impressed. It was very clear, controlled, and up to this point, the LS50s have been really musical, really responsive. Great sound dynamics. They really kind of put the Alons in their place, because these speakers are 20 years old and they could probably use a recap and a refresh. I think these woofers may have been refilmed at some point. But yeah, I mean, these are brand new speakers and they sound like brand new speakers, so I guess that's about right. Now the vocals on Millie were a little bit veiled, a little bit recessed. And this is an issue that I also had with the previous two songs. I watched a lot of YouTube reviews in preparation for this video, and the United States of Analog and GR Research And even some Redditors have reported veiled mid-range and or slightly recessed mid-range or vocals on not just the LS50 Metas, but also the Q150s. I thought the Q150s were terrible in terms of their mids. I just thought they were really hollow, and it seemed like to me like the bass was and the treble were boosted. So that the Q150s they didn't last very long in my collection. The mid-range is really important to me because, I don't just listen to music, I also watch a lot of movies and TV. So the mid-range has to be on point. It has to be neutral, uncolored. It can't be recessed or veiled. And that's one thing that drew me to the Focals and the Alons was their exceptional mid-range. It's really, really clean. The only problem I have with the Focals is it's in a box, and the coloration from the box is pretty damn evident, especially compared with these speakers because they have the open baffle. The open baffle design is ingenious because you don't have the coloration from the box, and you couple that with the kick that these speakers provide, and it really sounds like a live performance. The LS50 Metas. So, in listening to different musics with the LS50s, the lack of low-end bass really bothered me. And it's not too big of a deal because I do have a subwoofer, and I did use that to augment on occasion. But when I listen to music, even like jazz, where it's instrumentals, I find myself wanting. And I thought the LS50s fell just short of not having a subwoofer, which brings me to my next point. So if you watch these two video reviews by Andrew Robinson and Steve Gutenberg on Affiliac, these guys have the best amplifiers money can buy, or at least the best that and so they're using at least 250 watts, if not more. And as I mentioned earlier, my amplifier is only 125 watts. So apparently, if you have at least 250 watts, you unlock the LS50 Meta's capabilities in full. So what are those capabilities? Well, apparently, according to Andrew Robinson and Steve Gutenberg, the LS50 Metas sound like open baffle speakers. Now, I can hear the coloration. It's just a slight coloration, but I can definitely hear the coloration in the LS50s, and it's because it is inside of a box. Apparently, it sounds like a live performance, like the performers are right in front of you, so I'm guessing you get a little more kick. The mids are no longer recessed. Vocals are no longer veiled. The soundstage is huge. By the way, the soundstage on the LS50 Metas, they're kind of weird. These speakers to me, they sounded kind of weird in general. It's not a rectangular soundstage. The soundstage is like an oval. And for a lot of people, that's a turnoff. It just sounds weird. They're not used to that. I'm not used to that. So that kind of bothered me, that and the recessed mids kind of bothered me. You get you get pinpoint imaging of all sources, and it'll make your breakfast. So, if your amplifier can bring the beef, you get all those capabilities out of the LS50 Metas, and apparently it's worth far more than the $1,600 asking price. Now, I wish I had a 250 watt amplifier so I could unlock all those achievements. But unfortunately, I have to make do with what I have. So this is all all I have to compare it with. I wish I could just tell you straight off the bat what I honestly think about the LS50 Meta, but it's far easier for me to make a comparison with these two speakers. and yeah, so I guess that that pretty much you know, just to sum up, you know, the LS50s, you know, given my current system requirements and my limitations, you know, I can't it's gotta, I have to return this. You know, I can't hold on to a speaker that can't give me solid mids. You know, I'm not gonna go run out and go buying a, you know, a 250 watt amplifier. I'm not made out of money. You know, I'm a budget audiophile. So I got the my Parasound HCA 1000A for $200. I drove clear out to Los Angeles just to pick them up. So, you know, all told with gas, that was $270. So I mean, that's for an amplifier of that quality. You know, that's, to me, that's a bargain. So yeah, that pretty much does it for my review. Hopefully somebody will get something positive out of this, and I'll see you next time.